right, is everybody ready? Yeah! All right, now here we go. A one, a two, a one,
Let's get it on, and welcome back to another episode of the Get Sunday Covered podcast. I'm your commissioner, Cody, aka Touchdown there, joined as always by my good friend, Brandon, aka Mr. Tiggle Gritties. How you doing, my guy?
I'm fucking great, bro. I'm fucking so happy with my teams this week. It was a good week, let's just say that. And
Oh yeah, you put in some work this week?
I did, man. I did not catch an L one time this week.
Undefeated
6
on
and
the
0,
week?
baby. 6 and 0 for the first
dude.
time. I'm
Solid.
fucking ecstatic.
That's what's
Had a-
up, man. That's the work right there. Good shit.
Yes,
Good
sir.
shit.
Yes, sir. How was your week?
You know what? It was good, man. The one that really mattered, I put it down. That's another dub for touchdown there. I had to give Seamus a little bit of a welcome into the show. You're excited to have him here. You're doing good, man. You're on the up and up, and then shut him down.
Fucking love it.
I had to, man. The rest of them went pretty good. I think I went 3-2 on the week, so not too bad. Not too bad.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Not too bad. Not
Yes,
too
sir.
bad. Yeah,
Yes,
and
sir.
y'all didn't catch our interview with famous, aka Amelia's Army, be sure to check that out. We released that on Sunday, so another player exclusive. Go drop a like, comment on that video. But yeah, man, let's jump into this week and really kind of go full speed ahead.
I love it, dude. Yeah, absolutely. It was so much fun having Seamus on. That was I really enjoyed that interview with him. I look forward to having him back on the show in the future. That was a lot of fun. So he's actually got a birthday coming up. Recording this on Tuesday, so his birthday is actually tomorrow. But when you're watching this, it is today. So happy birthday, Seamus. Also, he shares a birthday with my lovely wife, so I'm going to give a shout out to her as well. Big 3-0 today, so I love you, baby. Happy birthday. Super exciting. But before we jump into the weekly recap, our trades and waiver wires and Brandon's bets and questions and things like that, I want to jump into a quick question for you today, Brandon. Let's get everybody's minds thinking a little bit. I'm curious to know what you think is the best tradition in sports. I'm talking about, like all the fun things, hockey, baseball, football, all of it. What do you think is the best tradition in sports?
Playoff beards.
Coming from somebody who can't grow a beard, that's cool, man.
It's a little patchy in spots, but it's not too bad.
No,
I
I'm
would
with
say
you, dude. That's a good one.
playoff beards, or even like the handshake line after a series, especially like hockey, stuff along those lines. Just the sportsmanship there, I think, is super vital, and it's great to see hockey continue to grow. I mean, tonight was the Frozen Frenzy. Every single team played, and
Loved
it
it.
it was sweet. The concept behind it could probably be a little bit better drawn, but with what they did with it, I think they made it work to the best that they could. Obviously, having 16 games on in a single night makes it tough, especially when you have, 9 or 10 games on at once. It
Yeah.
it can definitely get a little choppy, but I think they killed it overall. Another good one I would say would be like Gatorade showers. For the coaches after,
Oh,
winning
hell
a
yeah.
championship. That's a solid one right
Oh,
there.
when the big old guys, they just like throw it up on their
Yeah.
shoulder and they just
You
huck
just
it over the
dump it.
coach.
Yeah.
That's so good. Like I've always wondered like what that feeling is really like, because it's got to be like ice cold, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I mean, there's ice in the damn thing, so it's gotta be cold. I mean, it's probably 40 degrees with that ice. I mean, it'll
Oh,
definitely wake you up, but hey, you're ready to party then.
dude, can you imagine like just think about like your greatest sport memory ever getting a Gatorade shower on top of that. Like that's so fantastic, dude.
I
Like
mean,
that's I feel like that's when you know you've made it. You get a
I won a
Gatorade
state
shower, like you're on top.
championship and fuck, like that was nuts. But I mean, I was just, I was like 12, 13 when we won a state title. But I mean, we also did like other tournaments and stuff like that, winning hockey tournaments, but state was by far the biggest. And I just remember like we just lost our shit.
Oh
Like
yeah.
we sellied so hard. I mean, it was fun. But what would you say, Cody, are some of your favorite sports traditions?
I don't know, man. I think about the like I love sports, man. All sports. I have my favorites. Hockey and football are definitely up there, but I think there's so many good traditions in sports. I think the best one for me, and admittedly, I've never actually been able to take a part, but like I love the hat trick where you throw your hat on the ice. Like
I
I just feel like
I
I just feel like that's it's super rare. You know what I mean? Especially on like the professional level. A hat trick in high school or college, like that's one thing, but like seeing a hat trick at the professional level, like that's huge. Like I long for the day that I'm able to throw my $30 or $40 hat on the ice because I saw one guy score 3 goals. I think that's super cool, man. Like
that's what I was gonna say. You ready to throw a $30 or $40 hat on the ice?
I think I would. I would like willingly give up my favorite hat to
Wow.
see a hat trick in person. Like, let me see McCarr
Wow.
score a hat trick. It's out of here, dude. Just
McCarr, McKinnon, Rantanen, any of them guys?
please. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome.
But I don't know. I think there's a bunch of good ones. Like you mentioned, like the Gatorade shower and the playoff beard, but like you ever seen like in baseball games where like they like bust a home run or like a foul ball or something like that, and the fan catches it in their beer,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have to chug the beer with the
Chug it.
baseball in the beer. That's so
Yeah.
good, dude. Like that's so gangster. Like there's so much like character into that. I don't know. I think that's great.
I wanted to steer clear. There's some great traditions if you just look at like college football and like entrances with college football. Great example being like Clemson, Death Valley. Their entrance is just insane coming down the hill. Or you think about, I want to say it's Virginia with Enter Sandman,
Oh,
or
Virginia
like,
Tech, baby.
yeah, Virginia Tech, Enter Sandman, like stuff like that. I mean, it's just next level. Or you just think about like Notre Dame. When you think about Notre Dame, you automatically think about like their play like a champion today sign that they touch every single game walking out onto the field.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Man, sports, like just in general, everything. Like sports is like the best, I don't know, all encompassing fucking it's
The
all good.
highs, the lows, like just the rush, man. It really is everything.
Yeah. Well, week 7 is in the books, you guys. So Brandon, if you are ready, I am ready. Let's take these guys into the weekly recap for GSC.
Let's do it. All right. Week 7. Man, quite a wild week here.
Ups and downs for sure.
Ups and downs. You and I, we'll start off with my matchup. You know, it's we said it was coming to Drax. We said be prepared to get back-to-back losses, and we sure dished it up. So Drax,
You got
you're
him.
welcome for 2 L's after starting your 5-0 year. Sorry, man, but we got to bring it back to reality.
Yeah, man. Well done in this matchup for you. This was huge, not only for Drax going 2 L's in a row, but this really kept you on pace here in the West. Your team really showed out this week. Big ol' 163 points for you. You would have, I think that's the highest score in the week, maybe second highest score.
Second highest, right behind One Great Taste, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes.
good showing for you. What's your thoughts on this matchup? Obviously, all your players showed out, but this was big, man. How are you feeling about this?
I like I said after last week. I said last week, you know, Sheamus got lucky. I'm still gonna call it a fluke week. Especially looking at how his team performed this week. But I mean, all in all, I'm pretty freaking confident with this lineup I have set. I may try and trade one player or two players and see if I can get something, but overall, I'm just very comfortable with what I have right now. I mean, obviously, I know Hot Chub Time Machine was trying to ship out Justin Jefferson, and we'll get into that a little bit more, but I him and we had talked a couple, a little bit ago. I want to say like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, about possibly doing like Evans and White for Jefferson. But right now, after everything, I told him I was offering Evans, and that was it. And he ended up going elsewhere, but I'm just very confident in my team. And what's scary is I didn't even have just Jamar Chase in my lineup this week or the Dallas defense. So
Yeah.
that just tells you where my roster is at and what I'm capable of right now. And I couldn't be more happy. And I'm pretty happy with looking at future matchups right now with who I'm lined up against. And who matches up against me when it comes to bye weeks for some of my key players. So I am pretty happy there. I know, for instance, like I've been keeping a close eye on some of my week matchups, or some of my matchups coming up, and I'm very confident for these next couple games.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You should be. There's a couple things that stand out to me for your team. One being your running back situation here. Travis Etienne, back-to-back games with double tutties. Actually, as I look at that, that's 3 in a row for him. That's huge. And then Alvin Kamara, dude, I'm impressed by this. You waited on this one
I
from the
took the
draft.
risk.
Dude, the amount of targets that he's catching so much. And with the way that this offense looks, like Derek Carr can't get it to anybody else but him. So love that. Kamara, ETN, you got Swift there as the third one. Receivers are looking great. For Drax, kind of tough with his quarterback this week. He's in a little bit of trouble with Justin Fields. I feel like he should have made a move to maybe shore up something a little bit more solid. Like I would have loved to see him land like a Cousins or something in place of Fields. This might be an issue for him moving forward. Obviously, he played Howell this week. Rough week for Sam Howell. Christian McCaffrey, always solid, but really, like, this was just a dominant win for you. Drax has a really good team, and I think he's going to have a really good team moving forward. But these last couple of weeks, obviously the buys being in place. Yeah.
Well, what also killed him is he doesn't have any depth right now at running back,
Yeah.
to be 100% honest. He just doesn't have any depth outside McCaffrey and Cook. He had to play Wilson. He has Elijah Mitchell and then Jaylen Warren. You could have played Warren. Obviously, it wouldn't have made much of a difference in our matchup, but I think he is going to struggle in terms, especially on these bye weeks with these running backs out.
Yep, I would agree with that. So we'll see. I do still think that he has pretty much a stranglehold on that East division. So I think he should be fine. Even if he drops, I would say even a couple more games, he should probably be okay in that division. But
yeah, I think if he has 5 losses in that division, he's still getting the 1 seed in that division and getting the bye.
agreed.
Jump over to your matchup. We said, Sheamus was going to catch an L, and sure as shit.
Letting people know. Let's go, baby.
Sheamus, I'm still calling it a fluke, so fuck Kale.
Yes, sir.
But
I was very pleased. Down week for Justin Herbert for me, but it turns out that I didn't really need a big one for him. I'm really pleased with how my running back showed out here. I plugged in Javonte Williams for Denver. Not an ideal situation, but I had Jerome Ford in my flex, who we talked about it in Sheamus's interview. He went off right away, first thing Sunday morning, big 70-yard run. So I don't know.
Going to be out for a couple weeks, though.
That's fine. That's fine. I got my starters back from the bye, so I'm good here. I'm happy with this win.
Yeah, overall, biggest thing that stands out is obviously going to be Puka on the bench, but we'll get a little bit more into that as well. And then Tua being started over Cousins, which I think anyone would do.
Yeah, I would have.
Primetime Kirk versus the matchup that Tua had against Philly, both in primetime. It's a coin toss, but majority of people are going to take Tua in this situation. It just didn't pay off. Biggest thing that stands out: tight end Komet, nothing. Cup being outscored by Puka by almost 20 points. You put Musgrave and Puka in, it's a much closer matchup in that aspect. And then you add Cousins, he probably beats you. If he has a perfect week, he beats you. So all in all, good shit on the dub. And yeah, it's gonna be a little crazy these next couple weeks with these outside division games, head to head being over with, and getting back into in division matchups for that second round come week 10 starting. So it'll be definitely good to see what happens with those.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, we're going to get into it a little bit more further on in the show, but I do want to mention one thing that stands out to me for this team is that you said Puka on the bench and he had a dud from Komet at tight end. There's a trade there for this team that I think is really going to change the outlook for it moving forward. I think he made a really good move here. And I think if Kyron Williams comes back and he's what he was before he went onto IR, I still think this team is going to be pretty legit. So I don't know, but I imagine we're going to see Emilia's Army in the playoffs, to be honest.
Squeeze in as the 6th seed, you think?
I think he'll be there. Yeah. I just looking at the other players in his division with Hot Tub Time Machine and Bench Don't Kill My Vibe. I do think he sneaks in there. So
Yeah, he's still, obviously he's just taking a look at the standings real quick within the East. He's 3 games back on Drax, and then he is a game behind from Revenge of the Aints. So he's definitely got to have some bounces go his way, or he's got to go probably perfect when he comes into his division games round 2.
that's a good point.
Speaking of Revenge of the Aints, let's jump into this matchup against Cortland Sutton. All in all, low scoring, both not breaking 100. Revenge of the Aints is right there. But yeah, I mean, wow, rough week. Biggest thing that stands out here is Cortland Sutton. The Bijan situation really, really fucked him
Shitty.
over.
Shitty.
And that just really made it tough. Ridley did next to nothing. Josh
Ridley
Jacobs
Diddley.
didn't do much. Yeah, I mean, all in all, and then losing points with his defense, that sucks.
You know what sucks so much about that too is I feel really bad, but I was doing my commissioner duties and I hit him up Sunday morning because he still had the Jets in his lineup. And I texted him, I said, hey man, double check your lineup for me. You got to make sure like you got somebody on bye in your lineup. You know what I mean? I got to be on top of that stuff.
Right.
Didn't hear back from him. So I called him right before kickoff. And I think I woke him up. I said, hey man, you got your Jets in the lineup. He's like, I know, leave me alone. Like I'm leaving it that way because I don't want to risk it. He said, just watch. I'm going to pick up the Detroit defense and I'm going to lose points. And sure as shit, man, like they let him down. I feel bad. He did say, you know, I'm just going to eat the L this week and hope for the best moving forward, which he really did have a rough week. Basically everybody aside from Palmer just shit the bed for him.
Yeah. I mean, Dobbs didn't do too bad. Hawkinson didn't do bad. But yeah, everyone else, nothing really. I'd like to just see him put Pickens into his lineup. I think that'll help him. I'd be curious to see if he takes out Ridley or if he takes out Samuel. But I would definitely like to see that moving forward. Otherwise, I think he'll be okay. Jumping to the other side of the board with Revenge of the Aints. Solid week. We were talking Sunday with Seamus about Jonathan Taylor versus Cooper Kupp. Obviously, the funny thing here is Cooper Kupp does nothing, and Jonathan Taylor throws up a 20-piece. So Seamus said that he kept the right person. I don't know, man. I really don't know.
It's tough. He's definitely Jonathan Taylor is. It was great to see him have a good game, but he's still splitting carries with Zach Moss. Obviously, Zach Moss didn't have, you know, the outstanding fantasy day that he normally does. But if you look, 18 carries versus 18 carries, you know, that's
Split share, yeah.
I don't know that Jonathan Taylor is going to come back and be in charge of this backfield like you would think would come with the narrative of this name, you know?
And you would think, because he just signed a contract too, that right? I mean, he just signed a new contract with the Colts. Is that correct?
He did. Yeah.
So you would think that he would be getting the workload since he just got paid, but we'll see what happens as we go down the line. Um, Eckler, rough week, but you know, still managed to get the win, so it's okay. DJ Moore, solid week. Mari Cooper, man, that Cleveland offense without
That
Watson
quarterback
is
situation is tough.
tough. Ingram, you know, when it comes to tight ends, if you're getting close to 10 points, I think you're doing just fine.
Yeah, agreed.
Unless your name is really anyone besides Kittle, Hawkinson, or Kelsey, you're fine. Hollywood Brown, Drake London, he did what he needed, and he put in the lineup that was the best for his team. So overall, not a bad week there.
So I want to
Jump
ask
into
you, hang on, before we go into the next one, I want to ask you, looking at both of these teams, obviously, for Revenge of the Aints, Debo Samuel sitting out, he's going to come back and he's going to be valuable to that offense. You mentioned Cortland Sutton, hopefully getting Pickens into the lineup. I'm curious to know your thoughts on these teams. 2-4 in the East for Revenge of the Aints, 3-3 in the West for Cortland Sutton. Do you think, is there a move that either of these teams can make to kind of propel them, I guess, get them over that apex of being relevant in their respective divisions? Like, I think about Cortland Sutton. I obviously, I took the L to him a couple weeks ago, but I feel like there's one or two moves he could make for this team, and he's going to be fine. Do you feel that same way, or am I just crazy?
I do. No, I definitely think so. I think he's, one or two moves away from being right back in. I mean, I think he's in playoff talk right now, overall, but I think, or no, he's just outside the playoffs. Revenge of the Aints managed to get that 6th seed right now. So I mean, these two teams are right on the cusp of playoff fringe. They're kind of battling for that last spot at the moment at 3-4. I think that Cortland Sutton is one or two moves away, and I think Revenge of the Aints is one or two moves away as well. I mean, yeah, I think they're both right there, and they both have a good shot of getting into the playoffs and just getting a couple bounces their way.
Yeah, I don't think it would take much, like a solid good luck week for either of these teams, and I think they would be fine.
Completely agree. All right, let's jump into our next matchup. Hot Tub Time Machine, Steeler Virginity. Man, Steeler Virginity throwing up a solid week.
just
Lamar,
he just shit on him, man.
yeah, just got destroyed, man.
I feel so bad
There's
for
no
Joe.
easy way to put
This
it.
sucks.
I mean, he doesn't have much at running back to be a completely transparent. I mean, could have put Gus Edwards in the lineup. That might have helped, but he has Hubbard on a bye. He has James Conner on IR. It makes it rough, man. When you have your guys on a bye and you just don't have the depth you need.
I don't know what to say, man. Jordan's got a great team, and it's not getting easier for Joe moving forward. Like, this plug and play for his quarterback, that sucked. Like you said, his running backs, Madison hasn't been there all year, and with JJ going
I,
down, Devonta Adams is mid at best. Like the I love Devonta Adams, man, but he's on such a shit offense. Like Jordan mentioned it in his interview. Like the Raiders look awful.
yep. Yeah.
And I I just feel bad for this guy. Like this sucks, dude. Like it started off, his team looked so good, and man, when you're going up against teams like Steeler Virginia, Lamar Jackson finally showed out, and he finally has a down game for Raheem Mostert and still puts up 130. Damn.
Scary.
Yes, it is.
Scary. Yeah, I mean, Steeler virginity, solid week all in all. I mean, he put together a fantastic lineup. Uh it it's crazy that you're seeing Derrick Henry in here. You're not seeing CeeDee Lamb, and then Waller in this lineup. Um, that's probably, I mean, and then Mostert underperforming. He's probably thrown up 170 plus if they're all in there, and it's scary. And they're performing on a week like if they do this again in the season, he shouldn't have a problem throwing up 170 with his main players in that were on bye.
Yep. Yep. Agreed.
Oops.
Like we said, we'll touch on it a little bit more coming forward. Hot Tub Time Machine did make some moves to try to improve this a little bit, but we'll see, man. It's going to be tough. Steep hill to climb coming out of that East.
Absolutely. And we'll jump into this matchup. Man, this was a fun matchup to watch. Bench Don't Kill My Vibe took the lead early. And to be honest, I thought she had it. She was looking nice and in the lead, and then just
I
out
wish
of
she would have.
nowhere.
I really
I
wish she would.
I agree, man. I would have loved to jump up in the standings and get just be one game behind on you rather than both you and One Great Taste. But obviously down the line, one of you is going to lose. So I'm okay, and then whoever loses that matchup, I'll just hope the winner loses to me. That way I at least kind of keep even there. But I mean, all in all, just this was a fun matchup to watch. It was good to see Bench Don't Kill My Vibe throw up decent points after a couple struggling weeks. She put together something productive. I mean, she was, I mean, she would have outscored half the league. So, she's bounced back. Her team's bounced back. I think she'll be just fine.
Yeah, I agree. We talked a lot of shit on Bench Don't Kill My Vibe last week. We said this was going to be, a dominant win by One Great Taste, which he did get the dub. However, I was pretty impressed with the week that she was able to put together. However, I still think this team needs a lot of work for her. Aaron Jones is not getting it done. He doesn't look right. I don't know that he's gonna look right in the next coming weeks. She also doesn't have a lot of depth for her running back position with David Montgomery going down, and her bench, I don't know, it's beat up, man. Same thing that we've been saying for the last couple of weeks. She did put up a solid effort here, with Foreman in there, but I don't know, when you're going, this is the thing. This is what we're talking about. Hot Show Time Machine, Bench Don't Kill My Vibe, Cortland Sutton. Like, you've got tough matchups coming up here. Like, you have to get a win in these matchups. Like, these are important. We're coming into week 8, 2-4, and your schedule's not getting easier.
2-5.
You know what I mean? Like, it. I talked about it on our Zoom last night in Monday Night Football when we all got together. For the only two-time champ that we have, I'm nervous for this team. I don't think she makes the playoffs, to be honest.
I don't either. I'll say it right now. I don't think she makes the playoffs. Yeah, no. I think she will need a couple good bounces her way in order to make it. But I do hope to see her make some moves and see what she can do to weasel her way into those talks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, one great taste, phenomenal week, bounce.
Keeping it tight in the West, man.
Yeah, I mean, can't be disappointed when you have Addison, Kelsey, and Gibbs and Mahomes. I mean, just outstanding weeks from those players.
So
And
he
we'll see
made that
what
trade
happens, man.
for Gibbs and Addison. I want to know where do you see Jahmyr Gibbs and Jordan Addison rest of season? Top 15 for both of them? I take top 20 for Addison and top 24 for Gibbs.
I was gonna say top 20. I don't know about top 15. I I just don't know, and you really don't know. Yeah, I would say probably top 15 or top 20, not top 15 right now. But yeah, I
It could be
mean,
scary moving forward.
all in all, I mean, I'll say it. Our weekly picks. I didn't lose a game, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shouldn't have switched.
I
You
switched
would
it
have been
up.
perfect with me. You tried to win a game back and you ended up losing another.
Yeah. It's all right though. We did better this week.
We did. I mean,
Yeah.
we definitely did. Let's jump in since we're here. Let's take a look at what's kind of gone down in the league. First thing, trade that was completed today. Miller's Army, Steeler Virginity. Steeler Virginity is trading Sam Laporta and $8 a fab for Puka Nakua. How do you feel
Yeah, they
about
got it
this
done.
trade?
They got it done finally. This has a lot of backstory behind it, and I feel like we talked about it when we interviewed Seamus, and I feel like he could have cashed in a little more. However, I think this is pretty solid for both of them. Getting Laporta out of that, obviously, that's keeper potential
I
for
think
his.
to be 100% transparent, this is both their keepers next year.
I would agree.
It's no question.
Yeah. I think last week, even more so 2 weeks ago, he could have gotten more out of Puka Nakua. But I think obviously, he was needing help at the tight end position. And this is good for him. This is really gonna help. So no qualms. I think it was a great trade for both teams.
I'd love to, if you're willing to give it, I'd love to hear a little bit more on maybe what you think he could have got 2 weeks ago for Puka.
I think the CD Lamb trade would have been better.
I agree.
But however, we talked about this team. He went that 4 week stretch putting up 130 plus. Obviously, this week he fell a little bit short, but he got it done from the tight end position. So I think he's going to be okay getting rid of that. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him up there, maybe not challenging Drax for the lead in the East, but I bet he's a solid bet for second place in the East.
I would agree. It'll definitely be him, Revenge of the Yanks, and fighting for that second spot in the East. Jump into the next one here. Hot Tub Time Machine, and once again, Steeler Virginity, making some moves. Steeler Virginity's definitely been making moves over this past week or so.
Yeah, he's not afraid to take the risks, man.
He is not, and it could get scary. Depending upon when Justin Jefferson comes back.
Yeah, so Steeler Virginity gave up Saquon Barkley in exchange for Justin Jefferson straight up. I know Joe Hot Tub Time Machine was shopping Justin Jefferson around to basically everybody, just trying to get something out of him. Obviously, he's trying to make those moves, trying to make something happen because he needs to, right? He needs wins right now. We talked about that. This one, I don't know how I really feel about it. I'm pretty impartial to both of these players, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
Me personally, I have no desire to own Saquon or Justin Jefferson at this point. However, it could pay dividends to both of these teams potentially. Obviously, Saquon had a pretty good week. He is very important to that offense in New York. And if Justin Jefferson comes back, man, Steeler Virginity could be light years ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I don't know. If it were me, I don't want JJ. I don't want that risk. Watching what Jordan Addison did last night, I'm good. They
Yeah.
proved that they don't need him.
Yeah,
Kirk's going to throw
exactly.
it to whoever is there. Hawkinson, Addison, like
And the other thing is,
they're not going to rush him back.
if they're not in anywhere close to playoff contention, there's no risk for them to even try and bring JJ back.
No. But I mean, they won last night, so I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, agreed. Take a look at some waiver wire pickups from the last week. Bouncing back all the way to last Wednesday. Elijah Mitchell picked up for $47, man.
Oh, brutal. That's so brutal. That
Threw
sucks.
them,
And he
but
was the only person to bid on him too.
he took it. He has McCaffrey, so
He had to do it.
he had to do it. I don't blame him. I ended up picking up Kareem Hunt. Obviously, that's gonna pay off for me for the next couple weeks. I think I put him in my lineup this week as well. No, I didn't. I kept him on the bench. Actually paid off with Rashad White outscoring him by 0.8, but it wouldn't have made a total difference for me. Jordan Mason being picked up by Bench Don't Kill My Vibe.
Just
Zach
grasping at
Evans being
straws,
picked
man.
up. Yeah, I mean, Jameson Williams. You ended up picking up the Cleveland D and dropping Miami. Picked up Kyle Pitts.
Well, I got
Craig,
Goddard coming on a bye in week 10, so I needed to have some sort of replacement there.
yeah, I understand that. Yeah, week 10 is is definitely, I think, in a lot of people's eyes. There's quite a bit of good teams on by that week. I know the Eagles are. I know the Chiefs are. I believe Miami is as well.
Yeah.
So week 10 is a big bye week for a lot of teams. Jordan Love being picked up, Jared Goff, the
See,
Commanders D.
she drives me nuts with this. Like, I tried to talk her out of Jordan Love a couple weeks ago. Um, when the whole AJ Brown trade conversation was coming up, I wanted to offer Matt Stafford, and she drops Jordan Love, picks him back up. I guess, man, do what you do. I don't know. I don't want any part of that Green Bay offense.
Yeah, I have Dobbs in another league, and I only played him this week because it was Denver.
Yeah.
Paid off. He got a touchdown. It worked, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that offense. Michael Mayer, think he really, yeah, he didn't do much this week. So he had a good week last week, but nothing there. Cam Akers, I think I'll say it. I think he's gonna start. He's probably gonna take over the starting job for Madison.
If he doesn't take it over, it's going to be a solid 50-50 split.
Yeah.
And neither of them are going to do shit.
Yeah, I completely agree. Good pickups this week, I would say, are a couple last minute pickups. Taylor Virginity picking up Kendrick Bourne.
Hell yeah.
That paid off. Njoku paid off for Hot Chub Time Machine. This was the biggest one, I think, that stood out to everyone was Dante Foreman. Obviously, he threw up a 30 piece, so all in all, a great week for her to have him in her lineup. So I think he'll be pretty set there in terms on her squad.
Agreed. Shall we move on to week 8? Good Lord, week 8 already.
Jeez, man, so crazy. So I got a little fun fact for you. I was going through the league. You and I are the only people in the league to score over 100 points every week.
It's almost like we know what we're doing.
Almost. I mean, I've scored over 130 every single week except for week 1.
Damn, son.
I am cruising. I the scary thing is we're 7 weeks into the season and I already have 100-point lead in terms of points for.
Yeah, that's impressive. But still in 3rd place in the West. Humble yourself.
Hey, it's all right. It's okay. We'll be we got some rematches coming, so I'm
we're gonna play each
gonna
other
get
again.
my revenge. I'll get my revenge round 2. And if I don't get it there, I'll get it when it really counts in playoffs.
We'll see.
So let's jump into week 8. Wow. Start off right off the top. Do I have a bye week this week? I'm joking. But I got a matchup against Bench Don't Kill My Vibe. Man, I'm like I said, I think she's got to throw up 130 to beat me. They actually got my prediction right for once with 132. So
yeah, this is I'm taking you in this matchup. No question. Until she makes some sort of like really powerful move, some sort of trade, I like I said, she might not win again, dude. Honestly.
Yeah, well, let's hope I don't fall to her. That wouldn't help me, but yeah, I am pretty confident in my lineup this week unless something crazy happens. I think I will be just fine. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I will think I get by this matchup pretty easy this week. I'm already favored by 38 points in predictions. Predictions have me at 69% right now, so I think I'll be just fine this week unless something drastic happens, like I said.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Um,
I would love to see her like turn AJ Brown into like a solid RB1 or a top 5 quarterback or something like that.
yeah,
Because if she waits too long on trading one of these Philly receivers, she's gonna miss out big time.
yeah, I would agree. Jump into our next matchup here. Touchdown there yourself versus Revenge of the Aints. All in all, I am looking at this as my matchup of the week here. Even outside predictions, I think this is a great matchup head to head. And I think, all in all, it's gonna be a good it's gonna be a good one. I think I think Revenge of the Aints beats you this week, to be 100% honest.
Yeah, I could see it, to be honest with you, man. Like I'm nervous about a lot of these matchups. Like I feel like I'm just skating by in some of these wins that I'm getting. I get both my running backs, Pollard and Mixon, back this week, and hopefully they deliver. But the only thing that gives me a little bit of confidence here is DJ Moore and Austin Eckler for his team. Eckler doesn't look right. I think he's still hurt. DJ Moore, I think he's still going to be with a backup quarterback, but like I'm nervous, man. And like I said, I feel like I don't know that I'm necessarily getting lucky, but I've had some close ones, and eventually
Gonna
that's
catch
going to
up
come
to
back
you.
to bite me. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'll be honest, I'm a little curious to see what he does if he plays Taylor or Moss this week. Feel like that it's kind of a toss up. And week to week right now, if they're doing the split shirt, you gotta really just kind of flip a coin for who you want to play.
Yeah.
Because in split shares, one week one of them does great, the next week the other one does great. So it'll be a little curious to see who takes over and ends up scoring more points out of those two this week. Obviously, you lose Jerome Ford for the next couple weeks um, with that high ankle sprain. But like you said, you get your two main running backs back, so I think you'll be just fine. But I am going to take Revenge of the Aints in this matchup this week.
Well, you're an asshole, and I thought we were friends.
I need you to lose, man. I
No, I
gotta
need you to not lose.
I need you to catch an L so I can at least be tied with you in standings.
Well, we need
Um,
Ryan to lose more than anything.
yeah, well, yeah, that is very true. Um, jump into this next matchup. Cortland Sutton, Hot Chub Time Machine.
This matchup, dude.
This is going to be a rough one. I'm going to say it now. Both these teams aren't scoring 100 points.
You don't think so?
No, I don't, to be 100% honest with you. I just don't. I don't know why.
Interesting thing here. Cortland
And if
Sutton dropped Joe Burrow a couple weeks ago, and Hot Tub Time Machine is the one that picked him up. So we'll see. That could be an interesting little play there. Bijan,
yeah,
we'll see if he took some Midol.
be interesting to see what happens there. I mean, for sure, but gets T. Higgins back after that bye. Cortland Sutton does, and then obviously Hot Chip Time Machine gets back Joe Burrow.
Don't forget, Hot Tub Time Machine is going to have Saquon Barkley also.
Oh, that is true. So maybe they will throw up 100 points. But I do think, man, I don't know. This is kind of a coin toss for me in terms of who I want to take. Not really 100% on this one right now.
Dude, it's like it really is 50-50 for me. I think I don't know. I'm gonna
I'm gonna
say
take
on
Cortland Sutton,
same.
and I'm gonna take the West.
Yep, same.
The West has been running the East. We're currently in the last 2 weeks, 8-2.
Yep.
So we're pretty solid in the West in terms. So I think I'm gonna stick with our West division in that
Agree.
matchup. Another solid matchup this week. Drax and Steeler Virginity. Another
Wolf. Let's go, Drax.
I would agree with you there. I would like to see I would like to see Steeler Virginity fall a game back from me.
Yeah. The last thing that I want to see here is Steeler Virginity start picking up steam with his team, but I don't know if I can bank on it, man. I imagine that Drax's quarterback is going to change. I don't think that Fields is going to be back, but I also don't think he's going to play Sam Howell again, especially against Philly. So
Yep.
I would like to see that change. What's the word on Chris Olave? Obviously, the news broke yesterday that he got in some trouble driving a little fast.
35 over, eh?
Is that going to affect him playing? He should be able to play, right? Like,
No, he should be able to play. There shouldn't, I mean, I think he was just done for intake, and then he was released. So
yeah,
he
yeah,
shouldn't have any issues there in terms of playing. I mean, to be 100% honest, it's a speeding ticket, reckless driving, and a slap on the wrist.
so yeah, like,
The biggest thing that can happen to him is he loses his license. I mean,
yeah,
to be completely transparent, that's the biggest thing. These guys got money. He's gonna get a
yeah.
lawyer. He'll be just fine.
You're a fucking NFL player. You don't have to fucking drive yourself. Like, get a driver.
That too.
I don't know.
But
I think Steeler Virginity takes this. To be honest, Lamar Jackson's at Arizona, Raheem Mostert's at New England. That could be a tough matchup, but who's he going to put in place of? Oh, he'll have Derrick Henry in place of Saquon Barkley. So
yep.
yeah, dude. Drax, man, you started hot, but you might go 3 losses in a row here.
West Division gonna come and destroy your hopes and dreams.
Yeah, yeah. I'll take Steeler Virginity for the dub here.
Okay. I'm gonna take Drax.
Okay.
Jump into the last matchup here. Miller's Army and One Great Taste. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I think one
Projections have
great
it pretty
taste.
close.
Projections have it pretty close, but I think one great taste is going to run away with this one. I think, like I said, I think the
What do
West.
you think? What do you think the difference is for these teams?
To be 100% honest, I think
Not
the
generous.
difference is not even that. I think the difference is Patrick Mahomes is playing Denver right now, and the Kelsey Mahomes stack is gonna do exactly what they did last week and go the fuck off.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right, to be honest. This one's in Denver though. I don't know. Maybe they learned something from the last matchup that they had, but Kelsey tore him up last time that they played. And I think that was another one where he had like 100 something yards in the first half. But now Amelia's
Yeah,
Army's got Laporta on the lineup. Um, yeah, Cooper Cup's playing Dallas.
tough matchup.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I think one great taste gets it done. It's gonna be close though. This is gonna be a fun. I'll take this as my matchup of the week. I think this one's gonna be pretty close to watch. We've got some Monday night players on here as well, so it'll be an all weekend affair.
Yep, yep. Thursday to Monday, so be a good little thing to watch.
Yep, I'll take Ryan.
One great taste to getting the dub. So, I mean, all in all, overall throughout the season, it's been the West rolling over the East, and I think we're gonna continue to see that moving forward. It's been quite entertaining to kind of watch just how good our division really is this season in comparison to last.
Well, it's I mean, even across both divisions, like it's so close, like the the top teams are starting to separate, but realistically, like 2 games behind for last place, that's not a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot can change before playoffs come. So all right. Well, that's week 8, everybody. Brandon, I heard you've been making some dollars, my friend. You've been cleaning up on your bets recently. Talk to us about your bets from last week. How'd you do?
I did all right. Made like $100. Nothing
I just made
crazy.
$100. No big deal.
Nothing crazy. Ended up fucking player props killed me this last week. Players didn't really need that I expected. They didn't really step up this past week. A lot of low key guys or guys that haven't been as big this season definitely stepping up and doing their part, but all in all, I think we'll have a bounce back week from some of these guys. Let's jump in to Brandon's bets this week. Got a couple
Brandon's
parlays.
bet.
Like, definitely think this week we'll start with my player prop parlay. Um, I was gonna make a Thursday night football parlay. I don't know why, but right now, on DraftKings, they don't have really player props out. I was gonna put together like Evans and Diggs going off and getting like 80 plus yards each, and then doing, Allen throwing for like 250, um, and then 2 passing touchdowns. But it's not out, and I just don't really know right now where the lines are in terms of player props. So this is what I have right now. in terms, but this is probably going to change once I really get to see kind of where the lines are at. But to start, Evans and Diggs over 80 reception yards, AJ Brown over 100, Thielen over 70, Hill over 90, Addison over 70, Kittle over 50, Ayuk over 80, Kelsey over 80, and then St. Brown over 100. So probably be in the realm of plus 2 to 3,000. So $10 turn it into 200 to 300 bucks. It's my guess on where this will be with the lines. Once I see the lines out, I will definitely shoot that out on our group chat and our socials, posted it to our story just so everyone can see it. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, go and follow at Get Sunday Covered for that. In terms of just straight up parlay this week, what I have this week is going to be all. I'm gonna take all the division leaders this week. Everyone who's leading their division, I'm gonna take them winning. So Chiefs, Ravens, Eagles, Dolphins, 49ers, Lions, Jaguars, and Falcons. I'm gonna take all 8 division leaders to win this week.
I like it.
Plus 1293, $10 into 139.
Solid. Makes
But
sense
I'm
to
gonna
me, man.
take on the week. I mean, I think the matchups this week fair the division leaders. The only one that I'm really questioning, really, to be honest, is Jacksonville against Detroit or Pittsburgh. That's the only one that I worry about, is Jacksonville versus Detroit. But all in
I'll
all,
take Detroit. They're going to bounce back.
that is going to be Brandon's bets of the week.
Love it. Sounds great, man. We've got one more section here to close out the show. We're going to do a couple of hot takes. We didn't have a question for Commissioner Corner, so make sure if you guys do have a question about how you run your league or any things that are coming up in your league, let us know. We'd love to talk about that kind of stuff. That's kind of what we want to make this all about is how to make your league more fun and do crazy stuff, answer those questions like that. Well, we don't have one this week, so we're gonna do a different section here. Hot takes of the week. Brandon, I'll let you start it off and then I'll follow you up here. What's your hot take this week?
Kendrick Bourne is getting traded.
Really?
And I have a feeling he's going to San Francisco. Or I think the Debo situation is bigger than we're being told. And I think Kendrick Bourne will be a 49er. And if he's not, he's at least getting traded.
That is spicy. I feel like New England would be trading for a receiver, not trading one away.
Yeah, I mean, if they pick up Judy, that's a possibility. I don't think they will, but I think they'll ship out Kendrick Bourne and they'll get some kind of draft capital going into this upcoming season, and probably
to start moving away from Mac Jones.
Start moving away from Mac Jones. And I mean, if another hot take, Mac Jones ain't going to be New England's starting quarterback after week 11, which is their bye.
I mean, I think he shouldn't have been their starting quarterback after like week 5. So
I think he shouldn't have been their quarterback in general. I think New England should have rode with Cam Newton. I'll say it. I mean, I think Cam Newton's way better than Mac Jones ever will be.
So Born to the Niners, huh? That'd be interesting. I hope that doesn't hurt Brandon Ayuk.
I don't think it will.
We'll see. I will. I'll follow up. You think he's getting traded to the Niners? I'll do another Niners hot take here for you. I think my hot take is that Brock Purdy is a fraud. I think he gets him to the
Damn.
playoffs and then loses in the first round again.
Well, they made the AFC or NFC Championship last year.
I don't think it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they're really that offense is just so stacked and that defense is super solid that he's just kind of in.
Did you watch
He's
football last night?
yeah. I I mean, yes, like last night they didn't do shit, but I think in a way he kind of is getting the Tom Brady treatment, if you know what I mean, where you have these super solid defenses around you that get you into the playoffs, that save your ass, and
Well,
then
that's kind of my thing. Like, I do believe that Shanahan can coach him into the playoffs. I don't think he can coach him into a Super Bowl.
fair enough. Fair
You know what I
enough.
mean? Like, when you see these greats that make really amazing things happen, it's a combination of great coaching and great play. And I think so far he has been a really good product of great coaching. And
That's fair.
that's starting to run its course. Like, I think it's going to run out soon.
That's fair. That is yeah. I mean, I could definitely see that happening without
I don't
question.
know. Hot take, may be wrong, but we'll see.
Sweet. Well,
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Sunday Covered podcast. We'll see you next week, I suppose. I don't know if we have a player exclusive coming up this weekend.
oh, well, not just means we can work on some other things that we have planned in the books.
What other things are you talking about, man? We got some cool stuff coming up, right? Are you working diligently on those things?
I very every day I'm putting things into what's coming ahead, but yeah, I mean, there's some cool exclusive things coming ahead, to say the
We're
least.
we're gonna keep giving that subtle plug, guys. So keep paying attention. We've got some exciting stuff coming up. So if you don't hear from us on Sunday, it's okay. We've got some exciting things coming.
I'm excited. I don't think people know, and the anticipation just builds inside me. Let's just say I'll make this announcement. Pro Bowl weekend, the biggest podcast in Get Sunday Covered is going to be released.
We have a date. It's on the calendar. Mark it down. Nobody watches
Pro
the Pro
Bowl
Bowl anyway, so tune into the podcast.
Pro Bowl weekend. That Sunday, we are dropping a podcast, and it is going to blow everyone's minds.
It will. Trust me, it will. It's
There's
gonna
a
be
full
great.
presentation. There is massive announcements coming for 2024, and just be ready.
You guys are gonna be
I'll leave it
excited.
at that. I'll leave it at that. I feel like that is a very, very good hint and good point to just
I agree,
zip
and
it.
that's a reason to look forward to Pro Bowl weekend because nobody else cares about Pro Bowl. So
And I will say we will be taking probably a couple weeks off in between the end of I don't even know, Cody. We have yet to talk about this. So why don't we talk about this? Are we doing a podcast to finish the regular season after playoffs, which I mean playoffs end week 17, so are we doing anything podcast wise going into playoffs?
That's a good question. I definitely think we'll run our podcast through the playoffs, but once championship goes down, I don't know, man. We'll have to see if we can spice up some content in the meantime.
I think so. I think we'll have
Or
to.
or we just leave people waiting. I don't know.
That's what I don't know. We'll see. Y'all will have to just stay tuned, and there may or may not be a live stream coming ahead. Live
I
stream
like it.
podcast.
I like it. Tell your friends, tell your family, get people excited about fantasy football, for crying out loud.
If you know people that are interested in fantasy, hit them up. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Just drop a little, hey, you want to play fantasy football with me? It'd be fun.
I run a
Thank you guys
league.
so
You
much.
run a league. Who else wants to run a league?
I agree. Thank you guys so much. This has been great. Look forward to talking to you guys again. Don't forget to drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you haven't. We'll be talking to you again in another week. Good luck to everybody. Don't forget, no teams on by this week, but make your moves for next week when there are a ton of teams on by. So get Sunday covered, baby. Let's go.
Be sure to always hit us up to get your Sundays covered. Y'all have a good week, and we will see you we'll see you next week. We'll see you Monday or Wednesday, one or the other.
See you guys.